We're back for another great episode of the Banking Bros here at the Cash Compound.
Sure
I'm Jay Do.
I'm Jonah.
This is Jonah, and we are going to talk about introducing these financial concepts and ideas to your family and friends. Stay tuned. All right, on this week's episode, we're going to let folks know how exactly you're going to tell them to tell other people about what we know here.
Yeah, it's all about introducing the concept of family and friends. So we're going to give you some tips and tricks, some best practices, what we do in real life to introduce it to family and friends. So that way, just in case you're like loving the information, you're loving how your personalized banking system is working for you, you just saw it for the first time, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to tell somebody.
Right.
You know what to do, because there are some things you probably shouldn't do.
Right, and that's what we got to start with first off, because here's the question. How many times have you brought a great idea to your family and friends, especially family, I would think?
Sure.
And it did not go over well at all.
They look at you like you're crazy, or no, that's, that can't be the way that works. Or they start peppering you with questions that you don't know answers to.
Of course.
And so you started the conversation really high, like, oh, I really want to tell you this, but then you got a few questions, and then you're really low now.
And you kept feeling smaller.
Yeah,
you shrunk a couple inches every time they said something.
Answer these questions. Right?
So first off, let's start with you. So when you first heard this information, we've told people in the past a few times that I'm the one who kind of got tipped off to what was going on first. And then there was a live presentation event.
Yep.
There was an online presentation that we did. But let's now take it away from that. A lot of people know our story. Check back for our other eps for that. But how did you introduce this to the missus? Or were you even married at the time?
No, I was dating at the time.
Yeah.
To 2015, maybe something like that.
Right.
Anyway, we were dating at the time, but still had to introduce it to her. I'm pretty good when it comes to this, maybe from some prior experience that I've had in life, but I'm pretty good at realizing that whoever I'm telling is not going to get it. I'm still bad at telling them, because I want to tell them.
Yeah, right. That's what everybody out there has got to figure out. Like, they want to tell them.
I'm pretty good at, like, up front. All right, I don't know what I'm about to say, but here's what I'm going to say it.
Yes, okay.
And then, but normally I finish those conversations with, I'll keep you updated. I'm going to figure out some more. I'm going to talk to it, and I'll keep going as it goes. But it sounds good, so far. So normally I think that's basically how I started. And then little by little, basically, is how I did it. But again, a little different for me, because I was really engulfed in the information, learning it, whether that been books or videos or talking to the people who already knew. So that's just kind of the way that I did things. But we've got some way better tips and tricks and tactics for you. It also really helped that in my relationship, I'm normally the person who deals with the finances, with the numbers, with stuff like that. So she's normally willing to listen to what I have to say about that period, because it's like, well, I mean, you're in charge of it, so let me know what's going on.
Sure, right. Yeah. Okay, I got that. Because, let me take folks back, though, because every once in a while we get to tell some sort of like personal family story. So if you know us like from TikTok out there, the Banking Bros, how we introduce ourselves, we're actually real life brothers.
Yep. And
the J Do and the J Do part, you probably, hopefully figured that out sooner or later. And see, I got to take folks back, though. Prior to you worked at a bank.
I did.
Yeah, you worked at a major bank that lots of people know in the Southeast area. There was a big headquarters here in a call center. You also actually were doing property and casualty insurance for a while. P&C insurance. So, like, things when it comes to those environments.
Yeah, I knew.
Like stuff that workers would know.
Realistically, the frequently asked questions of insurance or the frequently asked questions of banking, I knew those answers.
Yeah, because you were on the call floor.
Yeah, I had dealt with them for a few years, so I knew it. I knew those answers.
However, I got to let folks know that back in the day, though, you got me kicked off eBay because you were out here we had a money-making scheme going, and I was like, if you in, I'm in,
I think it was
let's
Amazon,
roll.
But
it was
something.
No, I think it was eBay.
No, maybe.
And you had these Beats by Dre
headphones
that you were going to get a whole truckload full, and we were going to resell
and make a profit.
How much did it cost me to buy into your plan?
I don't remember, $400 or something.
And how many did I sell?
I don't remember.
0, because I got kicked off
of
eBay.
You sell 0?
0.
Oh, I think I sold one pair to someone offline, but not online. Right. You sold, well, yeah. So anyway, it was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, but here's the thing.
Facebook memories is like 11 years ago or something.
Right. Yeah. But here's the reason I bring it up for all of you out there is because a lot of you actually are not gurus when it comes to information like you're hearing. Insurance, banking information, and you may have done stupid stuff around your family and friends. They've seen your butt before when it comes to financial ideas that you've tried, that you've brought to them, things that did not work out. And so you are just cruising for a bruising, as we grew up hearing, if you're going to try to be the expert on this information for your friends.
Yeah, I mean, if they saw you doing dumb stuff with your money, wasting it on stuff, blowing it every weekend, and then all of a sudden you come to them with a great idea, they're just not prime candidates to listen to what you're about to say.
Right. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault. So that's what we're here to help you with, giving you some best practice ideas on what we have done, as well as what you should not do and some things you might try when you're introducing this thing. Because when it comes to your money and your finances, it's all throughout your life. It has to do with so many things. So your best relationships are the ones who are going to be involved with the choices that you make. And they're going to want to know, is this a good idea or a bad idea? Because if it has anything to do with your previous 15 bad ideas, like, why would I listen to you, let alone believe this information that I've never even heard before?
Yep.
Absolutely. So here's idea number 1. Idea number 1, we've kind of already said it, is introduce them to the expert information. So
I think we got to go back.
Oh, okay.
We got to give them what not to do first.
Oh, what not to do.
Number one thing, in my opinion, what not to do is explain what you just saw.
Yeah,
explain what you just watched.
Which is actually counterintuitive because that's the thing you want to do.
That's the exact thing you want to do. But that's the number one thing you can't do. So I always relate it. I heard one time a few years back, it related to watching a movie. If you go and you watch a movie and you love this movie, right? I've got plenty of movies I like. There's a couple movies out in theaters right now I want to watch. I haven't had time to do it yet, right? And I love this movie. I don't come home to my wife and go, this movie was great. Let me start from the beginning.
Yeah.
2 hours worth of, or explain to her what happened.
Sure.
Okay, this happened first, and this happened, and this happened.
Or even not even chronological. Let me tell you, like, there's this huge fight scene, and it was so awesome, but you're not even starting at the beginning. You don't even
start there, right? You know what I mean? Like, if you really tried to, I just saw a movie, I'm so excited about it, and explain it to someone else, you would mess up that movie so bad.
And of course, they're not going to have the same experience at all.
They're not going to have the same effect at all, right? What you really do to that movie you love so much that you really want to explain to someone is you go, you've got to watch it.
Yes. You preview it and say, I loved it. We got to go see it together.
Exactly.
I need to get your opinion and your take to see if you like it. Because here's the next step. After they finish, because the next step is go watch it together.
Yeah.
But after that, then you ask them.
Yeah. Did you like it too? And here's what's crazy. I bet you probably can relate to this. They like different parts than you like.
Correct.
You're like, that fight scene.
And they were like, going, oh, no, I love the story.
Yeah. I didn't really like that fight scene. But when they did this, that was cool, right?
And if you ask people in the movie who's their favorite character, there's 10 characters in the movie, 20 characters. They have different favorite characters. Yep. Oh, no, I like the dude. Well, I like the girl. Because you're asking them how they were able to emotionally and intellectually experience the information.
Exactly. So while you're, what was I going to say? I was going to say intuition. That might not be the right word. But while your drive, your number one thing when you want to do is come back and explain to them, it's actually the one thing you can't do. It's the one thing you've got to avoid.
It's so hard.
You've got to avoid it. It's the same with banking. That's where we're relating it to. You've just seen the information, whether you've seen a YouTube video, long form, short term form YouTube video, whether you've read a book, whether you've watched social media accounts, whether you've emailed and talked to someone on the phone, right? And you go, this is cool. Hey-o. And you can't explain, right?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I just had a really great phone call with this guy. I bet you he'd talk to you too. Like, let's get back on the phone together. Let's ask him some questions. Oh, I just read a really great book. Well, here's the book. Please read it. Like, this is important. I loved it. Please read this book. Oh, I just watched an awesome YouTube video that explained this thing. It's crazy. I really don't get it like that. Here's the link. Yes. You can't explain.
You whet their appetite.
You've got to get them to.
Now, that doesn't mean you wouldn't say something like, it's a revolution to our finances. You could say that, but like, that isn't the explanation of the 1, 2, 3, the 3 cup set. That's not the same explanation. You give them a preview, one, like he said, that you're excited. You need them to experience the information. And second, of course, something general like, well, it's not about ice cream. It's about finances. It's about our wealth building.
Right.
That's how you need to introduce it. It's just really helpful. And then the second thing is it keeps you out of fights. You don't want to get into fights, because if you try to be that expert and you try to explain things, like Jonah said, they're going to ask questions.
Yeah. And if you don't have all the information, like if you just watched it for the first time, you just read the book for the first time, you just saw the social media account for the first time, you don't have the answers to all the questions. So people, believe it or not, like if I came up to you and said, man, I'm really excited about whatever, this is brand new, book came out yesterday. There's going to be Harry Potter 16 came out yesterday. It's going to be awesome. I'm so looking forward to it, right? I just read it for the first time. I killed it all last night. I stayed up way too late. And you start asking me questions that well, where did Harry go?
Well, yeah, exactly. Right? Chapter 3.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah,
well,
I don't know. It was good though.
Well, you did a thing.
Right. Yeah. And then what are you feeling? You're feeling like, do you even know?
Right. So here's
Why are
another
you
thing.
Bringing it up if you don't know.
Right. So this summer, 2021, the Marvel movie came out with what was the name of it?
The Shang-Chi?
Yeah. Shang-Chi came out.
I think
and it came out.
Shang-Chi, maybe.
It came out this summer, and you said, hey, I just saw the movie. It was awesome. It's basically all the things you love. This is what you said, which totally got me into it. It's all the things you love about Marvel, and we finally got an Asian character. So we're having like all the martial arts and stuff.
Yep.
And I was like, oh man, sounds awesome, right? Yep. We've seen martial arts 100 times. We've seen Marvel 100 times. We're putting them together. That's what you told me.
Yep.
You did not give me the story.
Right.
Nothing. And I was like, oh man, martial arts, Marvel, what could be better?
Yeah.
I went and saw it, and I didn't love the movie. But the point is, you got me to look at it, and then it's not an argument. It was like, hey, was not my favorite Marvel movie. Was it good? Did I appreciate it? Yes. Was it my favorite? No. But that's the goal. The goal is to you wanted me to experience it by saying, hey man, this is everything you could want when it comes to Marvel and martial arts. We're putting them together, man. They finally did it. And I was like, boss, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I liked the movie though. It
was a good movie, but it wasn't to my level of Marvel's. I mean, we ain't stuck down here with DC's though.
That's absolutely
it was
true.
above that.
So that's number one thing that I would say don't do. Don't try to explain. You've got to whet their appetite. You've got to let them know that you're interested and that you really want them to experience it. And sometimes that means that they won't experience it, because they didn't take it seriously, or didn't take you seriously, or didn't have the time, or whatever it might be.
I think that's a good point.
Your feelings hurt about that, right? Like, hey, the movie just came out. The movie's really good. You should go watch it. And you don't go watch it, right? Like, I really wanted you to watch it. I thought it was good. But if you didn't watch it, I mean, I shouldn't have my feelings hurt. I feel like I did my part, right?
Correct.
Now, I might bring it back up and go, did you watch it?
Right.
I mean, it was a good movie, And you might go, totally forgot. But I remember you said that.
Yeah.
I might go,
or I have a different plan. I'll get to it at a different, I'm going to wait till it's out on, remember we used to say this back in the day, I'm going to wait till it's out on video.
Yeah.
Right? That doesn't mean that I'm saying no. It means I'm saying not right now. No. I don't have all the information I need to make a move on it right now. See, I got other things going on. I'm going to catch it on DVD.
Right. And again, if you're really excited about it, that probably means you're going to keep talking about it, right? So think of the predicament or the position that you'd be in is every time you see me, I'm like, Shang-Chi was so good. Every time you see me, right? Oh man, did you see it yet? I don't want to spoil it. All right, I won't even talk about that part. But, think about how excited I am about it.
Yeah.
And now the position that you're in, because I told you about it 2 weeks ago and you still haven't seen it. Right?
Exactly.
You're thinking in your head, all right,
maybe I should, I got to make this a little bit more of a priority because the people that are important to me think the information is important. And the reason they're telling me this is because they think I should know.
Yep.
That was the reason you bring up a good movie. You got excited and you tell the people that you loved it. Okay, here's another big reason here. I love that last reason you mentioned. That you don't want to go about this too heavy-handed to your friends and family is because there are a lot of people out there that are completely uneducated about this information.
Sure.
So if you hit somebody with meat and they're a baby, they need to be drinking milk, that is going to shut them down. They won't even know how to process the information, right?
Yep. That's exactly right.
So give us a scenario like that because, we grew up not knowing a lot about money, finances. It wasn't topics in our house. So help them understand, hey, if you're trying to introduce it to this type of family member, like, whoa,
Right. I mean,
slow.
It's the difference between, like we just brought up earlier, it's the difference between someone who understands and knows the frequently asked questions of banks and insurance between someone who doesn't at all. Right. So, I mean, for instance, somebody comes up to me and says, this thing that I'm putting my money in has this ROI. This is how much you need to put in. You got to lock, they give me all these financial terms and whatever, and I can compute that pretty quickly, like what's happening. But if I went and said that to my wife right now, she would be like, literally, you need to talk to my husband. Like she didn't hear what you. She didn't even hear what you said.
Yeah, there would be no She wouldn't. My wife's the same way. She wouldn't even try to process it.
She wouldn't even.
Whoa, that's not my area.
Yeah, she wouldn't even attempt. Right. So it's the same thing when you're trying to relate it to somebody, which is again why a lot of times you don't explain. You find the video or the count, the book that spoke to you,
or the expert
that spoke to you, and you push that person back to them. Right? Because a lot of times, I mean, I'm just thinking about it right now. So I don't know a whole bunch about cryptocurrency. Yeah. I don't know a whole bunch, right? So if someone comes into my living room right now and says, we're doing this crypto, it's going crazy. We're doing micro trading. We're doing, you got to get the Ethereum. Don't get the SHIB.
Make sure you download this app to trade it and not this app.
I'm lost. I don't know anything about that, right? I don't know what you just said. I mean,
NFTs.
I can
NFTs.
Yeah, I can repeat 3 words that I know the word you just said. I don't know what you are talking about, right? So you're feeding me milk or meat, and I need milk. Like, okay, an NFT stands for this. Here's an example of one. Isn't that really cool? Here's what I'm doing with it. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between the way you explain it to me. So, it's a lot. Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yeah. Like that happens a lot. So in finances, so when I have the education, right? But once you get the education, it's a little different.
It should be. Right. But people are going to look at this. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Right. You can give a man wisdom, but you can't make him think. So what we're here to do is introduce the information to people and ask them, what did you see and feel? Did you get it? And you don't have to be condescending, but like if they go through the information, wasn't that awesome? Didn't you get it? Don't you see what we can do? Because then they'll tell you if they processed it anyway in the similars to the way you may have processed the information. Because that's actually what happened in our situation. So I'll go back to what I saw was a live presentation type environment. And I told you needed to come with me.
Sure.
I said, hey, there's a dude showing up who's explaining some stuff. And I think I even thought to myself, I need you in your work positions that you've been in. I think that I know enough to be dangerous, but I think you're going to be able to explain it to me afterward. Like, explain what they just said. Isn't this how whole life insurance works? Because if it works this way, it's a guaranteed product, right? There was all those questions. I was like, this stuff. So that means the cash is going to grow, right? That's what I thought I heard. Is that what you're getting out of this information? And eventually, you're the one who actually said, hey, we got to put our foot down and get into this game. You said that first. And even though I had seen the information first, because I was like, I need some backup. I need some help. Sure. Because I think that this works, right?
That's a good way to introduce to family and friends as well, the exact same way that you did, right? Hey, I just saw information. I think I like it. Not sure. I need you to see it with me. Because I need what you know.
Yeah, you know stuff.
I need your opinion.
Or whatever. I need your opinion, or stuff, or you're smarter than me. Give them a little bit of encouragement, a little edification, right? Build them up and say, things that I don't know, especially when it may be coming to people who think they're smarter than you, whether they are or not, or they're older than you, right? Yep. Because your parents they definitely saw your butt. They wiped your butt as a kid, taught you how to use a spoon. You can't go around explaining everything to them. Someone who taught you how to use a spoon is going to have to get some edification from you first before you go off telling them how they need to spend their money, use their banking system, change up their patterns.
So I love that, right? I want to tell my parents about it, but I'm not sure how to do it. Hey, I saw something that's very cool. I would really like your opinion on it because I know that you might have a little bit more knowledge in this area than I've got. So can we watch it together? Can we read it together? Can we talk to this guy together?
Yeah. Right? Can you look at it and get back back to me. I want to chat with you next week over Thanksgiving. And I want to have a conversation.
Right. And I don't know your relationship with your parents, but what parents aren't doing that for their kids? If they say that, right? Obviously my kids are little, but if he comes up to me later on and says, listen, I'm really thinking about doing this, I know you probably know a little bit about it that I don't know. So can you please watch it? And then can we talk about it tomorrow morning? Oh, I'm going to watch it. You know
I got to.
Look how he asked me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It wasn't how he asked me for stuff.
You're doing it wrong. You're stupid. We got to change immediately. That's not it. Yeah. And so parents to kids, here's another one that I think I actually get a little more often is when we're starting folks, there's a lot of people who wish they knew it earlier.
Sure.
And so they want to introduce it to their teenage children, maybe their young adult children or even older than that. A lot of times with that, what I might suggest out there, folks with a little seasoned years under their belt, is let your family know this is important to me and I will be doing it. I need you to know how the family money and the wealth is going to be working and growing.
Sure.
That can be really helpful because, hey, I need you to know how we're going to be handling things now or how we are handling or what we're going to be doing in the future. And what kid, grown or not yet grown, is going to be absent-minded when it comes to my folks are doing this and this will affect money that we have as a family or maybe will be passed on to me. They're going to have to take a look.
They're going to have to take it serious.
Yep.
Hopefully.
That's some good stuff. So hopefully that's helpful to you. And so we'll just say that in the last couple of months, we've actually gotten some green lights from several of our actual family members, because we have done a couple things in the last couple of years. Number one is we didn't hit them over the head with it too early because we were always trying to advance. And one thing that's very interesting about our family is no put downs to the folks out there who are now even following us in our bloodline is the topics that we talked about were not financial.
Yeah.
So we got interested in wealth, but that's not even how we have a good time with our family and a good relationship with everybody, but that's not the topic of conversation.
Yep.
At all. So we didn't hit them overhead with it. Secondly is we knew there was more to learn. So we couldn't start off too early or go 100 miles per hour. And third, we got serious. And that's what they have seen now. Basically, they've seen that we got serious. And over the last 5, 6, 7 years, we have turned what we knew into an actual business model, an actual operation where we're serving and helping other people, and they can consume our content. So what's happened to us? So tell me, you hit me with a text last week before and said, hey, we're going to have a conversation soon with
sure.
Yeah. So tell everybody what happened.
Well, just kind of, not out of the blue. It's a cousin of ours, second cousin, I guess, to me. Is that right?
First cousin once removed.
First cousin once removed to me. Anyway, she was coming down to our state for a different reason, a doctor's appointment she wanted to do, and basically just said, hey, I'm coming down. We're family. I'd love to hang out with you. So I offered her a place to stay. Oh, cool. Stay at my house for a night. No big deal, right? Just family. And then she also said, I've seen your stuff on the internet, so I want to talk to you about banking.
Yeah.
Right? And so I just sent the text over and said, hey, she's coming down. She'll be here this night. She wants to talk to us about banking. So, we'll do dinner at my place and we'll talk to her, right?
So it was a very pleasant surprise because one, she didn't discover our information even from us. She discovered it from mom. So once again, that was a great example of what happens if you stay serious and consistent with learning the information and introducing it to family members. So we want you to do the same thing. We're happy to help. We will be the experts. We will be the ones who get in an argument and a fight with your friends and family so you don't have to. Now, we know what we're talking about, so we're happy to help. So keep following what we're doing, and one day you and your relatives, family and friends will be on the road to wealth because of what you've learned right here at the Cash Compound. So we'll talk soon. We'll see you guys.
See you.